He learned the truth on a quiet Tuesday, the kind of evening that wears calm like a disguise. Rain tapped the window in soft, patient rhythms. The kettle clicked off. She was in the shower, humming, careless. His phone rested on the table, face down. Hers lay beside it, face up. It buzzed. On say a. Ignored Italiano. It buzzed again. The sound felt louder this time, sharper, like it knew something he didn't. He told himself not to look. He told himself later would be better. He looked anyway. The message didn't fit their life, an address he didn't recognize. A time well past midnight, a short line beneath it. Delete everything after. His throat went dry. Another notification followed, then another. Coordinates. A reminder. A warning. His hands shook as he opened the phone. The passcode was familiar, that hurt more than the messages. Inside were folders labeled with harmless names. Inside those were videos. Grainy. Silent. Doors opening, people stepping inside. Doors closing again. Always night. Always unlocked. Always her shadow crossing the frame at the end. Methodical, unhurried. The shower stopped. He locked the phone and placed it exactly where it had been. She came out, smiling, steam clinging to her skin, eyes warm. She kissed his cheek and asked about dinner. He answered without thinking. His voice sounded normal. That frightened him. They ate. She talked. He listened. The clock on the wall ticked too loudly. When they went to bed, he lay awake, counting her breaths, waiting for them to change. At 2:14 a.m. she slipped out of bed. He didn't move. Heard keys. The door. Silence. Minutes stretched until they felt like hours. At 3:02 a.m., his phone buzzed. Unknown number. You're safe if you stay where you are. No explanation. No apology. He sat up then, heart racing, understanding that seeing the truth had already put him somewhere dangerous. Morning awry, pretending everything was fine. She brought coffee. She smiled. She asked about his sleep. Easily, that scared him too. When he finally asked where she'd gone, she didn't answer right away. She studied his face, searching for cracks. You saw something, she said calmly. Not a question. He tried to deny it. The words wouldn't form. She took his hand and squeezed, just enough to remind him she could. I protect what's mine, she said. That includes you. He tried to leave that afternoon. Packed a bag, reached for the door. The lock wouldn't turn. She watched from the kitchen, wiping a counter already clean. She explained things the way someone explains rules. The cameras were down. His phone had been mirrored. The neighbors trusted her. She gave him a choice. Forget or adapt. He laughed, sharp and broken. Forgetting felt impossible. Adapting felt like erasing himself. Days blurred together. He learned the routine without being taught. Silence mattered. Questions didn't. When she left at night, he stayed. When she returned, he pretended not to notice the smell on her clothes, the way she washed her hands twice. Then again, he began to dread the sound of notifications. He flinched at unlocked doors. He slept lightly, always listening. Sometimes she was gentle, sometimes distant. Never rushed, never sloppy. He realized then that fear wasn't her weakness. It was her tool, and he was surrounded by it. The end didn't arrive suddenly. It crept in the way everything else had, quiet, patient, pretending to be ordinary. She left her phone on the table that evening, face up, unlocked, not careless, intentional. The screen lit once, then stayed dark. He didn't touch it at first. He stood by the sink, hands resting on the counter, listening to the rain begin again outside. The kettle clicked off. The same sound. Always the same. He picked up the phone. A single message waited. An address. A template. Familiar. His reflection stared back at him from the black glass, thinner somehow, like something had been hollowed out behind his eyes. He imagined leaving. Shoes on, door open. Streetlights. Distance. He imagined the cameras that didn't blink, the neighbors who smiled. The locks that didn't turn. He set the phone back down. Hours passed. He didn't sit. He didn't pace. He stood where he was, letting the house breathe around him. Every small sound felt amplified. Pipes. Wind. His own heartbeat. When the door finally opened, he didn't look. He heard her keys placed gently on the table. He felt her presence move behind him, close enough to warm the air at his neck. She didn't speak. Neither did he. The silence stretched, heavy but controlled. He realized then that this was the moment she always prepared for, the moment someone either disappeared or stayed. Slowly, deliberately, she reached past him and unlocked the door again. It clicked open with a sound that no longer startled him. Warm light spilled into the dark hallway. The house stood still, watching, waiting.